Howdy folks, and welcome back. Creepy Kentuckian here with you from DEADPIT Radio. And I've been brewing this idea for a video series in me head for a little while. And I thought, hey, what the hell, let's grab 5 video cassettes and let's talk about them. Not necessarily the movie, although we'll talk about the movie briefly. But looking at these tapes takes me back there, if just for a day. And where am I talking about exactly? Well, it's the video store. Video stores have definitely become a lost art form. They don't really exist anymore. I know some bigger cities may have some little boutique stores that also sell videos and movies and stuff like that. But back in the late 80s, throughout the entire decade of the 90s, video stores is how I first discovered a lot of these movies that we talk about today on the show. The atmosphere of the video store is something that a lot of you youngsters out there, you young'uns, as people in East Kentucky say, you'll never get to experience it, man. And it sucks because it was a magical place. If you're a fan of movies, the video store is where you wanted to be on the weekends. Get you a 5 for $5 deal, grab some movies, get a bag of popcorn while you're there. So I want you to picture it. Prestonsburg, Kentucky, New World Video, 1989. I'm stepping into the video store. Family videos over there. The beaded curtain is there. The horror movies are in the back. The smell of popcorn and tanning lotion. That's right. Because all these video stores had tanning booths as well. This is a big thing. It's still kind of a big thing, I guess. But you know, New World Video is a mom and pop video store that me and Uncle Bill always talk about on the show over the years. And I know a lot of people in larger cities had the blockbuster videos, the Hollywood videos and all that. We didn't have that. We had kind of the renegade, anything goes video stores. And this series, Tales from the Video Store, each one of these episodes, I want to pick 5 VHS editions that when I look at them, man, it takes me back there, if just for a day. I'm going to go through these. There's a bunch of different genres of films in this. And these would be possibly 5 movies that I would get for $5 on a random weekend at the video store back in the day. First one up, and we talk about this movie a lot, and this is a crying shame that this thing has not seen an official release on disc of any sort. The Love Goddess Man, Shannon Tweed, Patrick Dempsey, Meatballs 3. It's a teen sex comedy. Some of these genres I went back and forth with and watched a variety of different ones. Of all the Meatballs movies, Meatballs 3 is my favorite. I love them all, of course, even the shitty Corey Feldman one that was like in the mid-90s, I think. But this one, I think that Patrick Dempsey's reprising a character role from like the second movie, but he wasn't in it. This is one of his very early movies from, I think, 86, 85, 86. Meatballs 3. So yeah, that would definitely be one. You can see the tape is kind of generic there. But this is one back in the day. And when I look at the artwork now, I love the artwork on these. Rudy's Big Challenge was Meatballs 3. Teen sex comedies, that was another big thing in the 1980s. And you can't go wrong with Meatballs 3. Next one up for people may not realize, Jenny Wiley Video, Superstar Video, New World Video, they all had their own section for sports. right? And I know what you're thinking. People didn't fucking rent sports videos. I don't think they did. I don't think they rented like golf videos. I mean, maybe some people did. But what I went for in the sports section was the wrestling tapes, man. And it doesn't get any bigger of an event, in my opinion, when I was a kid, than watching Starrcade 86, the Night of the Skywalkers, man. This is one of the most craziest events. And just look at the cover of that for a kid. It's like, holy shit. How high are they up there on that scaffold match, right? And this is the match where Jim Cornette, I think, blew out both of his knees by taking the crazy fall in the scaffold match there at the end with the Midnight Express and the Road Warriors and all that. So had some other classics, Dusty Rhodes versus Tully Blanchard, another steel cage match with the Andersons versus the Rock and Roll Express. Classic era Jim Crockett promotions. We actually talked about an event recently on the WrestleManiacs podcast for the Bunkhouse Stampede 1988. So go and check that out. But man, yeah, this is just a classic right here. And this was another one that my eyes got wide when I saw this tape. And I was a big WWF guy, but this is one that transcended that. Got to pick up. At the video store back in the day, gots to pick up Starrcade 86, The Skywalkers. Next one up, this is just a cover that I gravitated to way before I even sat down to watch the movie. But this is just another iconic videotape, Thorn EMI video, one of the best zombie movies of all time, Dawn of the Dead. Look at that cover, man. I think they made a poster for that as well, which is pretty difficult to track down if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, this has been through some battles here, this tape. What can you say about Dawn of the Dead, though, man? This is one of the greatest zombie movies of all time. Me in particular, I'm more of a fan of Night of the Living Dead. I think I may have more nostalgia there. But technically made, I think Dawn of the Dead is by far the better of all the Romero zombie movies. The music in this is fantastic. I know a lot of younger viewers can't get past the makeup in this, the gray makeup, I guess, that looked a little bit blue. I think the lighting with that kind of screwed the makeup up and everything. But yeah, Dawn of the Dead, man, this is an iconic VHS from back in the day. And definitely one that I would have grabbed $5 for $5. Why not? Now, you got to have something a little light, right? If you're having a marathon of sorts, a tape marathon, you're checking out all these movies, you're kicked back on the couch, drinking you some Mr. Pibb or whatever the hell was out. This would be one of them, man. I saw this in a theater, and to be honest with you, I thought it kind of sucked then, right? But this has got some cheese to it. It is a blatant ripoff of E.T., and it's a lot of fun. It is kind of a McDonald's commercial as well. Mac and Me, from Orion Home Video. Yeah, this was in 88, so yeah, take it back to 89. I could have rented this one for sure. And again, if you've seen E.T., you know, this is E.T. with a really goofy looking fucking alien bunch that, you know, Mac kind of helps out a little handicapped kid or whatever in it. And it's a shitty movie, really, but it is kind of fun and it's tongue in cheek. Definitely one that I would have picked up in the video store and rented that weekend. Now, this one's a lot of fun here. Not really that fun to watch, to be honest with you, but a lot of great memories around this particular cover and just some of the shit that we did as kids. Most of the time we would have Halloween parties, birthday parties. Somebody would always be in charge of renting some tapes, some movies. And always it was expected that one of these movies were in there, because this was kind of like the Dare thing back in the day. This is pre-Rotten.com, Snopes or whatever the hell it is. This was one of the originals, man. This was Faces of Death. Faces of Death Part 2 in particular, because I always loved that artwork. Just iconic. And they kind of kick-started the death tape thing. Nowadays, you can find way more gruesome stuff on YouTube or TikTok if it's not banned. Plenty of other places. But back in the day, there was no other way to check out some of this crazy shit. Some of it was staged, especially in the first movie. But yeah, there was some real life death scenes and stuff like that that, you know, little kids honestly shouldn't have seen. But it was the 80s, and people weren't as uptight as they are now. And it was like, oh yeah, these kids like their old crazy bullshit. You know, let them go. But Faces of Death, the whole series, I can't remember how many they made, like 5 or 6. And then they wanted Traces of Death, Death Faces, the many Faces of Death. Tons of these, right? But yeah, I mean, as far as the artwork and everything goes, this is the definitive Faces of Death VHS. So that is it, guys. That is it for Tales from the Video Store. If you like this concept, please let me know. I'm not used to doing this sort of video, but I thought it would be fun, and I have a lot of great memories from the video store days as a young kid, going the weekend, renting a handful of tapes from all sorts of genres, not just horror. So let me know what you think, guys. Leave the video a thumbs up, subscribe, do what you do, and we will catch you guys next time. I want all these people to click everything they're supposed to click.
You haven't been liking them, you haven't been subscribing to them, you haven't clicked the bell or notification or anything like that.
Folks, why don't you click the like button?
Do you hate us? Do you not want to see us succeed?
Why don't you click the heart button?
Is this something that you have against our particular show?
Why don't you subscribe?
You should click on one of them buttons right now if you want us to continue to bring greatness into your life.
There's all kinds of wonderful shirts over at shop.deadpit.com. Simply the best horror shirts. On TeePublic, there are others, but they all suck. You can get some Dead Pit Radio shirts. You can get Last South on the Left. The Hills Have Eyes. Texas Chainsaw. Oh, wait, you can't say Texas Chainsaw. All kinds of shirts, folks. You're gonna love them. Shop.deadpit.com.
Special thanks goes out to our supporters on Patreon. You know what kind of stuff you can get on Patreon, Uncle Bill, starting at only $1 a month?
What's that?
Access to every Dead Pit show since 2005. We got almost 200 fan commentaries that we've done over the decades.
Here's what other fucking Patreons do. They're like, hey, give us money and then we'll let you see a video early that we're going to release like a fucking week from now, and then that's all we're going to give you. Meanwhile, we have a literal jukebox full of songs, thousands of reviews. I don't even know how many shows are up on there now that we've done over the years.
Hundreds of thousands.
You need to figure this out now and subscribe to us on Patreon and YouTube and Instagram. Help us to 1 million. The road to 1 million subscribers starts today.
So DeadPit on Patreon.com. Join today. Tiers start at only $1, but I'd recommend at least the $10 tier.
You can do 50. The stock market's crashing around us, folks, but send us money.